Talking sports, Whitlock and Wiley, Greg Jennings and LeVar Arrington are back. Time to get anti-social.
Hit it.
Darnell, what you got?
Yes, sir. We're going to get it going with the Raiders. Where ever since John Gruden was hired as head coach, rumors have been swirling that Derek Carr isn't his guy. Well, Carr might be trying to win Gruden over because it was confirmed they bought a house in Vegas right next to Chucky. Hopefully Carr will be sticking around as QB because that's going to be one weird, awkward housewarming party. But guys, do you guys think it was a good idea?
Terrible.
Terrible idea?
Terrible.
Man.
I mean, because John Gruden and quarterbacks, man, he runs them all. He's going to regret this decision.
It's a little teacher's pet in there, you know. Here's my apple. I'm living right next door to you. But if he's a neighbor like I'm a neighbor, I don't mess with my neighbors. Don't come over my house. I don't invite nothing. So I don't even know who live next to me. And that's the way I keep it.
That's culturally speaking.
Right. Oh, okay.
This is different culture.
Oh, they don't act like we do.
And you mentioned apple. You know what's going to happen here? Your boy's going to have like lime trees and stuff like that growing in Coach's yard. He's going to make sure his gardener goes over there and makes sure the yard is clipped. Everything's going to be manicured perfectly. It's a great move by Mr. Carr. I'm sorry.
Nah, boss. I don't want to see nobody that has control over my future next door to me, unless I'm the one in control. No.
Especially when I leave work. I got to go home and do this.
All right, sticking with the NFL, the Rams' all-time leading rusher Steven Jackson has officially retired but wanted to go out the right way. Earlier this week, he decided to sign a one-day contract with the Rams and got one last carry so he could retire with the team he started with. Well, evidently, Jackson looked a little too fast during his final carry because afterwards, the NFL sent him a random drug test. Jackson tweeted out, "Dear NFL, can you tell Mr. Lombardo that I signed a one-day contract? I will not be reporting today for my random drug test screening. Thanks in advance." Jackson hasn't played since 2015, so you think the league is just trolling here?
No, I think this legitimately speaks to the randomness of the drug testing policy. It's that random.
So random that they made sure that they did it on the one day.
Wow.
Look, I believe it's random. I've always, I went like 8 years, only got tested once, and then 1 year like 11, and I was bad that year, so I was like, it ain't based on performance. It ain't based on what I'm doing. So I think it's random, but I think it's also funny.
You know, I think it's interesting because we sit there looking at the way he ran that football. To me, it's crazy how unathletic we can start to look, some of us, when we don't play anymore. That's no shot. Hey, I love you to death, Steve, but you looked a trip trying to run that football.
That's over.
Look,
It's over.
They don't want to make a mockery of the game, so they said, look, we're going to stop people from jumping out there trying to run the football during practices, during training camp. It's bad for business. Let's say we're going to drug test him.
This was a shot. This was a shot. It was nothing random about it. I don't mind it, though. I mean, it is what it is.
If you ain't doing nothing, what's
Time now for Darnell's question of the day. Take it away.
TP.
It's Darnell. My guy. My question of the day. All right, so Whitlock, you took a lot of backlash on social media for your comments on LeBron, specifically from the black community. So I want to ask you guys, as black TV personalities, do you guys have a responsibility to hold your tongues when speaking on other black stars?
I want to clarify one thing. I don't think I took a lot of backlash from the black community. I think I took a lot of backlash from Twitter's alleged black community.
Twitter, yeah.
So I think that's completely different. And to be quite, no, I'm a journalist. And so I'm just going to speak the truth about whoever it is. When I was in Kansas City and covering Carl Peterson, Marty Schottenheimer, Roy Williams, whoever, I took a lot of heat from white people. Why you so hard on Marty? Why you so hard on Carl Peterson? You must be racist. No, I'm a critic. I'm a journalist. That's what I do.
Yeah, look, I do you no favors if I don't keep it 100, no matter who you are, because one, I'm doing it with a spirit that I'm trying to either educate, help, or just give you my assessment. And if I'm incorrect, hey, I'm right here. I don't talk about the actor. I talk about the act. I talk about what you give me, and that's it. And I don't try to go any deeper into your world. But I do feel as a black journalist, black man, black football player, that at times I must inform those who are not as privy to knowing some of the details of my culture, my experience, my background. So whatever that may lend itself to, at times when I see there is a divide and maybe the bridge is racial understanding, then I will respectfully tell them from my perspective.
For me, I think that sometimes I think more or I process a little different when I try to answer a question that I know I'm going to be controversial because it's someone, a peer, or they have status and they are African American. I tread lightly because I understand being in that position. So I come from a level of experience. How would I feel if I watch one of my peers or a counterpart or colleague or whatever, or journalist that looks like me talking about me, and they understand the struggle, because it is a struggle, it is a climb, it is something to be said when you, however you get there, when you make it to that pinnacle. And I think we have to lift each other up, because we see others tearing us down already. So that's just my perspective. But however, I'm going to give truth. I'm going to be fair. But I am going to slightly look at it from a different lens, because I have experience in that space.
I legalizing white people to do the same, but go ahead.
I don't mind that.
I don't tippy-toe around any type of subject matters or topics of conversation, because I was raised to be true to myself and true to those who truly love and care for me, and that I love and care for. So I'm not going to compromise what my opinions and what my thoughts and my ideologies are going to be, because they're unique and independent to me.
Right.
So you don't have to get mad at me as a community for my own personal opinion. Whether you think I represented us correctly or whether you represent us incorrectly in your opinion, that's your opinion. So if I'm stating an opinion, I'm giving you my personal opinion based off of what it has meant to me to be who I am and how I grew up and the things I've gone through and life I've lived and what I've experienced. I've been on the side of gang violence, where I've lost family to gang violence. I've been on the side where I've lost family to police brutality. I've been on the side of all kinds of different things where you could say, if you have an obligation to this, it's based upon this. I don't use anything that I do and what I bring to the table and when I'm on camera and in front of the people who are watching us and sugarcoat it or water it down, because I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice in how you were raised and where you came from, and you're also doing those who are watching you a disservice, because at the end of the day, they're going to know. They're going to know you wasn't keeping it real.
I'm going to say this.
You know the real.
People die from what they don't know. And so when you deny people the truth and an honest opinion, you're keeping them ignorant and you're moving them closer to making the wrong decisions. And then the other thing I'll say, and I mean this as someone who was a mediocre college athlete that studied journalism and have a career in journalism. We're in this era where athletes are on television a lot. And it's a good thing. We want to hear their perspective, but we got to remember, they're not here to be true journalists. A lot is here to represent the athlete's perspective, and I get it. There are others that, from Mike Wilbon to Stephen A. Smith to Jason Whitlock to Tony Kornheiser, journalists. And we're coming at everything from a journalist perspective. Coming up, yesterday, former Cavaliers general manager David Griffin said he was miserable being LeBron's general manager. Now he says he was taken out of context. We get into that.
So what you saying? I ain't a journalist?
No, you're right.
You heard that?